It's my pleasure to welcome Jeb Cardwell to ArtSound FM. Jeb is a Melbourne-based guitarist, singer-songwriter, working in the Australian roots scene. He's opened for legendary icons Steve Earle, Tony Joe White, and more recently the US band Vapors of Morphine. He also plays guitar for acclaimed artist Kasey Chambers. Jeb's music draws on blues, folk and country, delivered with soulful, throaty vocals and seriously impressive guitar work. Welcome, Jeb.
Hi, Joanne. Thank you. That's a good rap. Thanks.
Jeb, you've been juggling your own music alongside a lot of other work. Where's your creative head at now?
I'm actually writing songs at the moment which are a little bit harder than what I normally write. Yeah, more on the rock side. So that's where I'm at the moment. I don't have any expectations for this one. I'm writing rock songs just to have fun with. I'm going to start another band, give it a name. It won't be Jeb Cardwell and the Somethings or anything like that. This is just purely fun to just go out and play rock and roll. The music I've been playing or writing previously is a little bit more laid back. I've been doing that for many years, playing sort of laid back, sort of J.J. Cale meets Dire Straits and stuff like that. But I used to have a band years ago, and it was called Animal Johnson, and we were a duo, and we were very rock. And I miss doing that. So I have been inspired lately when I went to actually see AC/DC, and that was it. I was like, yep, I still want to rock.
You got the bug.
I miss it so much. Yeah, I realised I really do miss it. So in the last couple of weeks, I have written a lot of rock riffs, and I just think, I just want to go out and play these with some friends, have fun, no expectations for what's going to happen, which is quite freeing, really. There's a lot more pressure when you're writing songs under your own name.
Well, it'll be fantastic to hear what the result of that is, because it sounds like it might be a bit different to what you've done before. But yeah, I did want to ask you about your debut album, if that's okay, because it's been hailed by Double J Radio as one of the greatest albums of the year by an Australian artist. That's a bit of a good rap. And they described you as one of Australia's best guitarists. So what has that recognition meant to you as an artist?
It's surprising, to be honest. When I hear and read that, I'm like, oh, okay. So that's Henry Wagons. He just heard a single I released off that album, Blood Moon, and sort of reached out and played it on his show. And ever since that single and that album, I guess he's been a fan. And
what a great connection.
So he is the one that has said those things, which is incredible. Yeah, so I'm blown away by that.
Well, look, Jeb, what I love about My Friend Defiance, which is an interesting title for an album, each and every one of the 10 songs is a banger for a start. But also...
Oh, great. Thanks.
The full production, the big sound, the stunning backup vocals, killer band, and you were talking before about, the kind of J.J. Cale meets Knopfler, and it's got a real sort of low-sung hypnotic groove to a lot of the songs, and you've got a real kind of relaxed musicality, but now you're kind of talking about rocking it up a bit. But somehow in that album it really all gels together in a really, truly standout, authentic way. But what is it about your debut album, do you think, that made so many in the Australian music scene sit up and take notice?
I'm not sure, to be honest, but I can tell you that those songs on that album I'd written years before I recorded them. And, of course, when you actually record them and you're in the studio, little things about aspects of the songs like structure and things change, and, the studio magic happens. But, yeah, I think those songs that I'd written years before kind of matured while we were recording them. And I guess I had a long time to work on them. I'm not probably a prolific songwriter, so those 10 songs I accrued over a long period of time, and so therefore I had a long time to work on them to try and perfect them as best they could be. And also with the production of that album, it happened during COVID. So the recording was done just before COVID, and then COVID hit. And I had another year to 2 years because Melbourne had the worst lockdowns.
Yes.
So I couldn't really do much but listen to the album thinking the album's done. And then I realized the more I listened to it, it wasn't done. There was a lot more I could do. So I had an extra year to 2 years to produce the songs. So they ended up just really becoming very refined. And I guess perhaps that's why people really liked it and was surprised of the maturity of the album for someone's first album.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah,
you know?
look, that
I don't know. Maybe that's got something to do with it.
It does absolutely come through, and but that's a great kind of COVID outcome, isn't it? Because
yeah, it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jeb, you've obviously, as well as your own creative work, you've spent a bit of time playing in other people's bands, and I guess I wonder what you bring from that into your songwriting. And do you switch mindset when you're a sideman in a band, if you like, versus fronting your own band?
Yeah, I guess there is a kind of mental switch. You put on a different hat. So when you're a sideman, it's almost like you're there to do a job. You've got to do your best job. You don't want to stuff up. It's a different kind of pressure, actually, but also you don't want to take it too seriously. You want to also have fun with it as well. But when it's your own thing, yeah, it's a different kind of pressure. There's that pressure of how people are going to receive the songs that I've written. Yeah, it's a totally different feeling.
Let me ask you, Jeb, I'm just sort of a bit of a follow-on from that. So when you're on stage and you're playing, are you playing for the other musicians? Are you playing to the audience? Like, how does that kind of all come together in your performance?
I suppose when I'm playing for someone, I'm playing for Kasey Chambers. Oh, and by the way, I should say that I play guitar for her, but I fill in for her father, Bill Chambers. Sometimes he can't do some shows, and I've been doing that since 2012. So
wow.
When I'm playing for someone else, I'm more playing for the artist and the other band members. I'm playing for the music. I'm not so much worried about what the audience are thinking of me and what I'm playing. I'm not really playing for them. I'm playing for the artist and the band. I'm playing for the music. Yeah. And I really want to do a good job for the music, and then, the audience will love it more. I guess that's a bonus. Yeah, but when I'm playing my own music, again, I'm playing for the music, but yeah, there is an aspect. I am playing more for the audience as well in that situation when it's my own. Yeah, because I'm fronting the band, and so yeah, it is a lot more for the audience in that situation.
Yeah, and obviously you're a busy person as well as being a musician. Sometimes you're up there in front of the audience and you're living that life. Sometimes you like many musicians have to do other things to pay the bills and all the rest of it. What's the hardest part of sustaining a life in music that people don't usually see?
I guess people don't see that it's full of ups and downs, and people don't see the down. Yeah. Everyone goes through ups and downs, and the people don't see the down times, and maybe their impression of me is that, it's all roses and I'm having a great time all the way and it's all up and up and up, but it's not. It's very up and down emotionally as well. It can be.
I was a bit interested in what your creative process might be and wondered if you could talk a little bit about that, how you approach that songwriting. I'm also interested in your recording and production processes, because you obviously with My Friend Defiance, you put a lot into that and you seem to do that really well. And so songwriting, recording, and I don't know if you want to talk about any of your influences. You mentioned you went to the ACD concert, so now you want to write some rock songs, which is perfectly understandable.
Yeah. Going back to My Friend Defiance, I'll always play music like that. I really love that sort of genre that J.J. Cale meets Dire Straits and the Beatles. You know, it's all rolled into one because it's the music I love and grew up on and still listen to. That's my main thing. But yeah, being a musician and being able to play all these different styles, you want to be able to actually play those styles for real. You don't. It's funny because yeah, I'm going to write rock songs, but I'm always going to keep playing the style that I've been doing on My Friend Defiance on that album. And the rock thing, yeah, I'll do that as well. I'll just keep jumping from rock. You know, I'll do a rock gig and then I'll do my Jeb Cardwell gig. Some people may look at that and think, oh, you're not focusing on one thing. Why don't you just focus on one thing and you know, surely you're going to have more success if you focus on one thing. But you know what? I feel like I'm a musician. I can play country, pop, rock, you know, all the blues, all these different styles. And when you focus on one thing, of course, you neglect the other ones. You want to just sort of have fun and do all the styles. I guess if I was in my 20s or something, that whole focusing on one genre to, quote, make it would make more sense. But, you know, I'm too old for that now. I just want to play all the styles and have a lot of fun.
It sounds like a good message to all the young people out there, I reckon. Yeah.
You just have fun. I think that's the main thing. And I guess, you know, any wise person will tell you now, if you're out there just having fun doing what you love, you know, the good things will happen anyway. You know, that's when they do happen.
So Jeb, where can people hear your music or catch you live? And also, because we're up in Canberra here, are there any chance we might see the Jeb Cardwell Band performing in Canberra sometime in the near future?
In 2026, I'm hoping. I do plan to come over and play in Canberra, definitely. My music's on Spotify, YouTube, all the streaming platforms. So the My Friend Defiance album's on there. And my latest single, Boomerang, which I released in July, is available on all those platforms as well. I've got 2 shows with Kasey Chambers coming up, one on January the 17th. They're both in Victoria, actually, and one in early Feb, probably around Feb 6 or 7.
Jeb Cardwell, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us on ArtSound FM.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Joanne and Paul. I really appreciate it.
It's been great talking to you. Thank you.